Thanks everyone to all your comments. They've been fantastic. And it's been great to see the different perspectives. And of course, I think when you look at water, it's up to us to decide, what's going to be the best for our health. And the TDS meter isn't going to be the way that you test water. I think it's more like an indicator. It's kind of like your check engine light. You're not just going to say, oh, my check engine light went off, so that tests everything. It's an indicator to go deeper or not. It's kind of like the red dye test that Berkey has, right? It's the same sort of thing. It's saying, okay, if it doesn't pass this test, then something might be wrong. And you'd have to do further tests. But in the end, I think we all have to basically rely on or trust those water filter companies up to a certain point. Now, with Berkey and their class action lawsuit, there's some people who have stepped up to the bat and said, okay, you're not really, your claims aren't really worthy. And so the question is that a legit thing to do? It is. It's totally legit. And there have been indicators that show that it is. Now, there's people on both sides of the fence, but it's your health in the end. It's my health in the end. And so deciding to go with the zero for a little bit until I figure things out, I think is a wise decision, because then I get to play around. And sure, I have dead water, as some of you have pointed out. And that's very true. It is dead water, which is why, if you go to those springs, you're going to be better off. But that dead water is better than having arsenic in it, and so on. So while I test my own Berkey filters out and decide for myself, I feel like that's at least a safer option than getting arsenic. Now, the other part of this that had me up at 3 o'clock in the morning is that, okay, yes, I can filter my water, but in the end, you're actually ingesting more water when you take a shower than not. So are the RV campground showers then basically done, dead, and not possible? Because you really can't take a portable filter in those places, or can you? I'm looking, but I don't think you can. So I might have to alter my whole habit of, not taking a shower in the RV itself so that I can have filtered showers, because that's where you ingest more water than the water that you drink. So that's a whole other part of the equation. But I did want to thank all of you for all of your comments. And I do find it interesting to see where it goes. But I still think the TDS meter is a good one to use as an indicator. And I will be using it to kind of give me an indicator going forward. More of like, okay, should I replace this filter or not? Kind of like the red dye test. I'm not going to necessarily rely on testing, okay, I'm going to go test all these filters with the TDS meter. I don't think that's what it's really designed for. Ideally, you can test it for that, but there's other things to test for. So it's all still out there, and it's up to each of us in our own health to make our own decisions. And I think that's vitally important, not only for water, but all the things we have to deal with when we're ingesting things or putting things or having things put into our bodies. And I think that gets to the crux of the freedom of where we're at. But we do have to trust companies, because we don't have the resources necessarily to test at the level they do, which is why Berkey, I think, needs to step up to the bat a little bit, despite what people say, oh no, it's okay and everything. I think they really need to just step up to the bat and do the tests for us, so that we know. And the variability of the stories that are going on, I think the class action lawsuit may force their hand to do the test. What I would hate to see, though, is to have Berkey actually fold over this. I don't see Berkey as a bad company, and I don't see Zero as necessarily a good company either. They have their own faults, and so it's just a hard thing to kind of navigate. So as I go forward and look at this, I'll definitely share with you some of my ideas on this, and I do appreciate all the comments again, and thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.